Coming up on this week's episode of Unpicked, there's a lot going on.
Not Tems, you know. Tems is quality babe. That's nasty. It's
not,
because being a swinger is being promiscuous.
It's not.
It is.
Not. Surely not.
The man that wife hoes,
yeah.
Us, man, we look left. We're like, that's how we treat them. We look left.
I don't be seeing that, boy. I don't see that.
Oh, yeah, but that's my boy. I'm going to stick beside him.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, Dammy to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
We're about to do this thing. Hey, hello, hi peeps. It's your home slice, Dammy Zane in the building. Welcome to the Unpicked Podcast. You are joining me and my co-host, Venom.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, man. First of all, let's just get out there. We've not had an episode for 2 weeks. It wasn't meant to be that way. The last episode we posted, I was fighting for my life because I was sick. And then, lo and behold, I remember saying, I hope it's not COVID. It was COVID, guys. COVID tried to take me out. Then we tried to record, so we took a week off. Then we tried to record last week so that you'd have an episode last week. And there was technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Let's just say someone pressed record in it, and I think they double clicked.
Turned
it off.
We're doing all that. We're doing all that.
Would it be me if I didn't do all that? And we thought we recorded, didn't it? So we were talking. The conversation was juicy.
It was a good one, actually.
I was coming with. I've still got my recording in it. I've still got mine, and I have this thing. You can call it vanity or whatever, but I always listen back to my own recording sometimes. And I listened back to it, and I was like, "No, damn, you was giving the content. Like the banter was top notch, yeah." Only for us to get an hour in and realize that somebody wasn't recording.
Somebody.
So they only got 20 seconds of their
20. Who said anything about 20 seconds?
How many seconds was it?
1 second.
Not even 20 seconds, you see. So we couldn't give you an episode last week because diaries were clashing and all that stuff. So so that's our sub story. That's our excuses and that. But we're back. Okay.
We're back indeed.
So sorry for leaving you lot in the lurch. But sometimes it's gotta be like that, you know? Sometimes it's gotta be like that. If you're new here, click the subscribe button. If you're listening for the first time on the audio platforms, follow the ting. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, you like our vibe, and you give us a 4 to 5 star rating. Same thing goes for those of you on YouTube. If you like our vibe, subscribe, like, all the things there. Our Instagram QR code is currently on the screen. I'm not going to bother trying to point because I'm just going to be pointing all over the place, but the place where it is. If you can't see it on the screen or you can't get to us via the QR code on the screen, the link will be in the description on all of the platforms. Yeah. That's it. That's all the...
That's the spiel. That's the admin.
The admin... Out of the way.
Out of the way.
Out of the way.
Halle Berry.
What about
her? And Drizzy Drake.
Oh, I knew you'd bring this up. Do you know why I knew you'd bring this up?
Why?
Because any opportunity to diss Drake.
Not even. It's not
so
even.
When I saw the story, I was like, I don't even need to check in with this guy. I know he's gonna... You're so predictable.
Not
I knew
even.
this would be...
That's not even on my list. That one just came off the top. I was like, yeah, that's the only thing that I saw that was actually a bit more of a have you seen. So for those of you that don't know, Drake Drake released a single, not Friday Gone, but the Friday before. And it's called Slime You Out. Yeah, with SZA. And he asked Halle Berry if he could use this picture of her with slime all over her from like way back in the day. I think it's from the 90s or something. To which she said no, and then he used it anyway. That is the story. She weren't happy about it. She took to the internet. That was it. I just realized that was the only thing that was like actually gossip, right? that I saw.
Yeah, I saw that, and I just thought, I didn't think anything, if I'm going to be honest.
I thought it was just publicity stunt.
Have you heard the song?
Yeah, I didn't.
What do you think of the song?
I didn't really think anything. It didn't do anything. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
The song hasn't sparked it hasn't reached my playlist yet. That's how I want to put it. So I've heard it. I do envisage, I mean, one thing you can trust Drake for, he's gonna give the content girlies captions for days.
Yeah. That's what he does.
And he gave, and there's this thing that I noticed on Instagram where people like to do monthly dumps of what happened all month.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I can just imagine them, towards the end, he's got the January, this, that, February, that, all the way.
I didn't even make it to the end of the song. Nah, I made
it to the end because he's my babes. I'm going to make it to the end, loyal to a fault. And I can just see, I can just see the captions from the song already. But I think it's going to be people, based on what I've seen on socials, people are expecting this to be another Marvin's Room album.
Okay,
so let's see.
The song nearly made. I don't know if it made it to number one, but when I last checked, it was contending for number one. But I don't know if it actually made it.
I feel like the vibe of the song, I can see why they might think it's giving Marvin's Room vibes again.
Yeah. It's definitely a vibe I like from Drake. It just wasn't necessarily, the song didn't capture me.
Do you know what it is? I don't know if I'm getting old, but when you listen to music, and you can't decipher the chorus from the verse, from the bridge, do you know what I mean? And it just sounds like
just one blur of sound.
That's how it feels. And that's how I felt about Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B's bongos. I heard it and it just sounded messy.
That bongo thing was just...
It sounded messy. Do you know what I mean? It just sounded like noise. And But I went to a function and they played it.
Bongos or Drake?
Yeah.
Bongos. Okay.
Bongos. And it banged. So I can see the vision.
That's the
but
thing.
When it first came out, I was like...
I still got to see it out. I haven't heard it out yet, and I'm not buying it until I hear it out. And
I know you
something.
haven't. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if you still. I mean, you don't strike me. No offense, but you don't strike me as the day parties brunch type of guy anyway.
Or as in DJ or going out.
Going out. So
no.
Exactly.
Well, day parties, but not like brunch, not like bottomless brunch type vibes. That's not really my.
But even the day parties I'm talking about, it's still you're still going to catch mid-20s to early 30s there. I just don't see that being your type of day party vibe. So, not saying you're too old. I'm not trying to be ageist here, but I just feel like the type of functions you're going to, you're probably not going to get the same reception to the song that you're expecting. If that makes sense.
I'm not expecting.
Because you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you want to see it in action before you decide if you want to buy it, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is the type of places that you probably go to or frequent won't have that reaction that that you might be looking for.
Okay, what reaction do you think I'm looking for? And then where do you think the hype frequent?
I feel like I kind of already answered the latter question, but I feel like you're gonna want to see people go off on the song, hear the song and go like you want the crowd to react to the song in a certain way in order for you to be I'm gonna buy that, so that when I DJ, the crowd reacts in that hype, this is the lit song type of way. And I'm saying the type of day parties or type of clubs or type of parties where people will go off, I just don't imagine you being in those spaces.
Hey.
For example, Danky Sounds or DLT, them type of spaces. I just don't see you in those. When was the last time you went to DLT?
Last time I went to DLT was 2019.
Okay, what year are we in now?
It's neither here nor there.
It's no, because unless you go to like a DLT where they probably will play that type of music, and that song will drop, and then you'll get to see what the younger crowd nowadays.
Yeah, but okay, so this is I think DLT is so specific of a function that I wouldn't.
Not just, I'm talking about them type of function.
No, I get it. But
there's loads of DLT-esque.
What I'm after
functions
is something more general. I'm not after a niche group liking it. I'm sure there's people that will like it. Like if I don't know, Homer and B dropped today, and I went to a drill rave, like I know then people will go mad for it. Whereas if I went to a general club, people might not feel it so much. I don't want to see the niche group reaction.
I don't think that's the niche group. I feel like when it comes to the black community in the UK and the social group within the black community in the UK, specifically in London, that is not a niche group.
Who?
So I think that community is not niche.
DLT?
So, no, just put DLT to the side for a minute. The black community within the UK, specifically London, because I'm presuming most of your crowd is London, and if you're playing to the black crowd in London, that's not a niche. That's a whole
I wasn't
community.
saying the black crowd in London is a niche.
But that's what I'm saying. You're saying DLT, and I'm telling you to hang up DLT for a minute.
Okay.
There's loads of events that 25s to 35, and I don't know about the up. I can only talk up to 35, even though I'm not there yet myself. That frequent in London within the black community.
Yeah.
That's not a niche. That's the social group, the majority social group within London when it comes to the black community. And the type of events that they go to, a song like Bongos is probably going to be played. And you'll get to see in those settings how that community reacts. But yeah, I very much, when I heard Bongos, had the same feeling that I had when I heard Slam You Out, which was I can't make sense of the sound and the lyrics over the sound and the flow over the sound. So I don't know, this sounds messy, but then I think I need to hear it enough for me to be like, oh, I can understand, I can pick the song apart now, and it makes sense to me. But then when I heard it at a function and I saw people get hype over it, and obviously the girls were able to twerk their twerk and all that, and obviously the man then was gassed because the girls, I said, okay, I understand. I can see the vision now. I can see where they were going with this. But when I just listened to it in my house...
Yeah, I saw the vision immediately, but I still think the execution
is terrible. Or in my
terrible.
headphones, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it is what it is. But yeah, Slam You Out. I don't know how I feel about SZA being on it. Drake was giving what he normally gives, but let's see what the rest of the album is saying. I don't want to say that the rest of the album's
anyway.
Be...
I didn't even think about it because they used to date like way back in the day. So I didn't even think about that.
I feel like it crossed my mind, but as soon as it went in, it came out my mind. Like, they're cool and they've been cool since. So it's not a surprise to me. If there was beef and then they now dropped on the track, then it'll be
that wouldn't surprise me because like him and Chris Brown, him and Kanye, they be doing this. They be doing this.
So it's not a surprise, but I don't know how I feel about that song yet. I need to hear it a bit more for me to be like, I maybe need to hear it in different settings. Like maybe I should play it in my car. Maybe I should, do you know what I mean? Like hear it, listen to it. Because I listen to it in headphones. Maybe I should listen to it in the stereo. Maybe I should. Did you hear about Remy Ma?
No, I did not.
What's her husband's name again? Is it Papoose?
Fat Joe? Oh, is she not with Fat Joe?
No. She didn't. I just
assumed they were together.
Nah, man. You know when she was in prison, who was she married to? Let me just check. Remy Ma. Husband. Also, because Papoose. I was right. So, first of all, let me just get this out there. For the longest time, because I think that let me be blunt, because I'm Nigerian and I think that everybody else, like I measure everyone against that. Because her name was Remy, I just assumed that she was Nigerian.
Okay, cool.
She's not Nigerian.
It's after the drink is what she named, but yeah.
That taught me, don't just assume that, because don't just, when you hear something, just because there's an affiliation with that thing to Nigerian/Yoruba tribe, don't assume. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, put that aside. But apparently she cheated on Papoose.
Recently, or when she was...
we don't know, but it's a conversation that's going on Twitter right now as we record, because people are like, how dare you? This guy waited for you when you was in prison, only for you to come out and cheat on your husband. And cheat
so when did she go? When did she go to prison? Is this something recent?
Mate, I couldn't even tell you the details like that, because you know me, yeah, I don't be checking, but I could do a quick Google search, like, if you really want to.
It's just I don't really know Remy's story. Like I used to check for her like back in the day. Obviously, I used to be into Fat Joe and Big Pun and them lot.
She served 6 years in prison until 2014, even though she was sentenced to 8 years after being charged with assault in 2008. Yeah, and then. But apparently Papoose stayed by her side the whole time, innit?
I'm gonna stick beside her. Yeah, but what does that mean though? Like if you're...
I don't think it means anything. I just think people use that online to be like, oh...
Because like, let's say for example, cool, your partner goes to prison for, let's say it's 10 years, and you're like, yeah, but that's my partner, so I'm gonna stay with them. Like I'm gonna see this term through, whatever it is, that's the love of my life or whatever. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna mess around in that time frame when you have needs, just to satisfy your needs. Yeah. So he could have beat things, not because he was trying to cheat on her or whatever. He might have just been like, yeah, but I need to release this. Like, but that's my wifey. So when she comes out, it don't matter what you think's going on. It's done. It's me and her. That could have been the case.
So there was a rumour floating around a few months ago that she cheated on Papoose with battle rapper Easy the Block Captain. I don't even know who that is.
I don't know that person, boy. Easy the Block Captain.
And then there was talks that Papoose beat man up.
Okay, because he found out.
At one of Remy's Chrome 2023 battles. It's one of the battles that she does or whatever. And then now it's being brought up again that she cheated after a battle rapper, these names, man, they kill me. Geechee Gotti brought it up while battling Easy.
Right.
And Gotti said that Remy should feel bad for being unfaithful. And Remy was there at the time when he said it, innit? When he dropped it.
Yeah.
So it's now become a topic of conversation on Twitter that this girl cheated on her mans, right? And
well, I mean, it's clear she's got a thing for rappers. Like she likes people that rap hard as well. Like obviously it's battle rap thing. Gets her in her feelings.
Yeah. And I don't know. I find it. I mean, there's been a lot of talk this week. There's talks of Jeannie. What's her surname? Apparently, who's her husband again?
You talking about Jeannie Aiko?
No. Jeannie. Who's she married to? She's married to. Crap. That's it. Jeannie Mai Jenkins and Jeezy. Jeezy filed Jeezy filed for divorce.
Really? Already?
Due to family values.
You didn't need to only just get married like within a couple years.
A few years ago. And people are talking about this as well because there's a clip going around. And you know that thing that they do online these days where something happens and they'll be pulling out clips from way back out of context. So just to like fuel the conversation. But there was a video that they took from her talk show with a few of her co-hosts called The Real, where she was talking about how basically she likes dark meat.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. As soon as she got with him, they pulled that one out.
They brought it, it's resurfaced, didn't it? So it's like it's a thing. So yeah, there's been all sorts of things. There's even a rumor going around that Tems is dating Future and she's his next baby mum. Apparently she's having Future's baby.
Yup.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
Not Tems, Tems is quality babe. That's nasty.
Yeah, but then there's also rumors that Halle Bailey is she's pregnant for what's that guy's name? What's her boyfriend's name again?
DDG or DGG or
whatever his name is.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's a lot of like crazy
it's
stuff.
An interesting one, isn't
crazy rumors out there right now.
The thing
you don't know what's true, what is fake.
When you're certain status, like a Tems or like a is it Halle? It's Halle, right?
Yeah, it's Halle. When
you're certain status like them, lot, obviously, I get it. I get it to a degree because you can't also like dabble too tough with people who are not in the same status as you, not the same class, because then you just become someone else's come up.
I got a question for you.
You have to ensure certain things for your family as well, even though I don't agree with that, but yeah, go on.
I got a question for you because they said the same thing about Keke Palmer and her man.
Mm-hmm.
When Keke Palmer started dating him, because he's pretty much like a nobody in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, what's she doing with a man like that? My question to you is, do you think that people hold women at a higher standard when it comes to two things? First of all, who they choose as their partner when they are quote unquote high class or like, do you know what I mean? A good girl or a woman that men deem to be wifey material. Is there an expectation for them to choose different to any other regular girl? And then the other question is, do you think that there's a high expectation for women when it comes to how they conduct themselves in relationships? Because the running theme between Keke Palmer, although nowadays people have kind of relegated Keke Palmer's status socially down because of the whole Usher thing, but before that she was deemed as somewhat a respectable woman, right? And you got Halle Bailey, that in comparison to Chloe, they always make that comparison, she's the Disney princess, she's a respectable woman. Then you got Tems, that's supposed to be creme de la creme, respectable woman. So all of these women didn't pick men that were of the same sort of status as them. You've got Halle, who's not married to my man, potentially now she's going to be a baby mum. You got Tems, that they've got rumours that she's a baby mum. We've got Keke Palmer, who is a baby mum. And most of the conversations around those three women that I've seen in regards to them being baby mums and the men that they've chosen to supposedly get pregnant for, apart from Keke Palmer, who we know definitely got pregnant for her man, is what is it with women of this status? And I use that with quotation marks because the status comes from men and whether they think they're wifeable or not, compared to the ones that act like thoughts, I guess. Why are they okay with dating men that are supposedly toxic or less than them, and then why are they now becoming their baby mums? And why is it that we're holding women to that expectation?
Yeah, that wasn't what I was saying. I actually was saying,
I'm not saying that's why.
Okay, I was saying I get why they chose those guys if that is the choices that they made. Keke Palmer's different because her man was who nobody knows who he was before her. So that's a different comparison. But for the like Future and Tems, let's say, Future's up financially and status wise. He's up. He's connected. As far as I'm concerned, whether I like him or not as an artist or as just a human being, his future is secure. So as a suitor, I see why he's appealing to women, regardless of his toxicity or his personality or whatever he portrays. Him as someone who can provide, I don't only think he's secure right now. I also think he's secure in the future. So his potential is abundant. I can see that. You'd have to be a fool not to see that. So if Tems was to choose him, I said to myself, I get it. If you like him because he's a bit of a bad boy and that's what you're into, then this is a bad boy that makes sense because a bad boy, but he's also got a secure future, which is all you want for your child. I hear that,
but your initial reaction to exactly why is that?
Because Future's dead. Future is
and you
dead.
also said not Tems, because Tems is actually, so it's almost like,
I said because Tems is actually peng, like she's actually a good looking woman.
So it's like you've almost,
I didn't think she's an angel. I don't know anything about her.
It's almost like you've categorized her.
No, she categorized herself.
No,
she acts a certain way.
No, she just acts how she wants to act. She's just being herself. But we, as the people on the outside looking in, we're the ones that have put a label on her, which is she's a higher class, if that's even what you want to call it, wifeable woman. She's paying both in how she looks and how she carries herself. No, she's just being herself. And do you know what is funny? When Tems started dressing a bit more provocatively, I remember she tweeted something like, listen, I didn't ask to be you lot's angel. Don't be putting labels on me that I didn't ask for, innit? I'm just being me. And this is what I'm trying to say, that why, like, it's almost like, and based on the conversations I'm seeing online, it's the same thing happened with, and is happening with Halle Bailey, in that it's like, because she was a Disney princess, because she doesn't shake her bum too tough, because she still wears risque clothes, but not as risque as Chloe. So people have like compared the two. They've put Chloe in the she's over sexualized box, and put Halle in the she's the one you take home to your mum because she's more girlfriend wifeable material. That's a label we have put on them, not that they have put on themselves.
Okay.
So then for people to then turn around and be like, why is it? Because I even remember I saw, like, there was a tweet that went viral that was like, what is it with these women that are decent women going for toxic men that they shouldn't be going for? And it's almost like, are you now trying to prescribe what sort of men women should be choosing just because you've labelled those women to be something that you deem to be wifeable material, girlfriend material, or whatever? You don't even know them. You just see what their brand is, and you're like, oh, she's a wife, or she's a good girl. She doesn't sing about her pom-poms, so she shouldn't be dating a man like Future. She shouldn't be dating a rap artist that said that he's intimidated by her fame, or whatever the situation is. I just find it so interesting how, like, we do that, because we don't know them. Halle could be more of a freak. Halle could be more of a freak and a thought than Chloe. Who knows, innit? Because all now Chloe's single. She's not the one that's now somebody's baby mum, potentially.
Yeah, but that could also speak to the points that everyone's making about, that's not the one that you bring home to mum. So then why would she be in that situation with? No,
if because of that, she's the one that I would expect. If you're saying that someone's overly sexualized themselves, you're basically saying that they're somewhat promiscuous, either in how they dress, or you would assume someone that dresses like that is promiscuous, because that's the box you put them in by saying they're overly sexualized.
I don't think it's fair to call them promiscuous.
If anything, like, no, I'm not saying that.
No.
She is promiscuous. I'm saying that is the assumption. That's the link. When you see
that is
hear
the
me out. Hear me out.
They're given.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you yourself have said that if a woman dresses like a hoe, then you assume she's a hoe. So if she's dressing in an over-sexualized way, you're going to assume that she is promiscuous. That's what being a hoe is, right?
No. So to me, it's not the same. But
what's the difference between being promiscuous and being a hoe?
Oh, so to me,
as a woman,
difference is in the action. It's not, so you don't have to, if you act like a hoe, you don't actually have to validate the hoe. So if you, it's like
hold on, calm down, hold on. Let me just break it down. Yeah. In the past, I have it on record.
Yeah, I'm going to make the point.
Where you have said that if someone dresses like a hoe, then you're going to assume they're a hoe. That she's a hoe. And I'm asking you, what is the difference between promiscuity and hoism?
Yeah, because this is what I'm saying. They're two separate things. I'm going to explain.
I know, because what you just said doesn't. It's like you're saying something completely different to what you said in the past about just because you dress like one doesn't mean you have to act like one, which is what I said. I said before, you could dress like one and not be one because you don't act like it. Yeah. But you're
what I'm saying is there's a difference between being a hoe.
You're going to assume that they're a hoe. And I'm saying being a hoe is actually being promiscuous. So I'm we're going around in circles, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
No. I hear what you're saying, but the point I'm making is being a hoe.
Yeah.
Dressing like a hoe.
Yeah.
Is obviously, as you said, not the same as being a hoe.
No, it's not.
So you're saying dressing like a hoe is the same as being a hoe?
No, that's what you said, and I didn't agree.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said what you said is they're different.
Hold on. Originally, hold
Yeah,
on.
let me just make my point.
Hold on. Yeah, make a point. Go on.
Right. So the point I'm making is that looking like a hoe or acting like a hoe and being promiscuous are not the same thing. Much like acting like a thug on the street or a gangster and actually being a gangster are not the same. However, if you act like a gangster, I'm going to assume you're a gangster. Most people will. And the trouble you'll find yourself will probably be gang related.
Exactly. So if you act like a hoe, I'm going to presume you're promiscuous.
Which is my point. No, not that I'm going to presume you're promiscuous. I'm going to presume that you're a hoe. It doesn't mean that you have sex. And being
promiscuous is being a hoe.
It's not about the sex. It's about the attention and also the reaction from others. I
think you have a completely different definition of what a hoe is.
I might look at someone
being promiscuous.
No, but I might look at someone and identify that this person is acting like a gangster. They're wearing a hood. They're hanging out on street corners, but they actually aren't about that life. However, that life will find them by virtue of how they're behaving. People's perception of them will be that they're about that life. And so they'll be affected by how they present, even though they're not actually partaking in the actions.
Exactly. So if you present like someone who is promiscuous, which is present as a hoe, then people will perceive that you are promiscuous.
Which was my point. Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you have to be promiscuous.
No, which is what I originally said. That's what, oh God, I feel like you have completely convoluted what I'm saying. What I'm saying is being a hoe, actually being one, not forget what you're perceived as. Being a hoe means that you are promiscuous. You cannot be promiscuous and not be a hoe. It's not possible. Being promiscuous means you sleep around, you like all of that. That is hoe behavior. Again,
it really is context dependent.
I don't know, I feel like if you ask most people, maybe we should ask most people.
I think so,
because we should put it out there, guys, because
I don't think swingers are hoes.
I don't know, but swingers are not promiscuous like that. Being a swinger is, how do I explain this?
That is promiscuity, but it's just
no, it's not the same. It's not the same.
I didn't say it's the same.
It's not the same. You can't use that as an example. Promiscuity is hoism.
It's not, because being a swinger is being promiscuous.
It's not.
It is.
Not. Surely not. It's just, no, it's not.
It is.
Okay, you know what? Because people like to use words, I'm going to go to the dictionary.
So we get promiscuous up.
So, it's not even giving us the sexual.
It says having or characterized by many transient sexual relations, demonstrating or implying an unselective approach, indiscriminate or casual.
Yeah, so being a swinger.
That's like swinging.
No, it doesn't.
It is.
No. Swinging is more, I'm married or I'm in a relationship and we both.
You don't have to be
open to be a swinger.
Yeah, you don't have to be married.
No, but you have to be in a relationship to be a swinger. You can't be a single person being a swinger. That doesn't work. I
think you can go to swingers events as a single.
You can, but you're not if you're having sex with people at a swingers event, you yourself, you're not a swinger. To be a swinger, you have to actually be in a relationship.
So then what are you yourself? Are you
partner to partner?
Promiscuous?
You are a single person having sex with multiple people. That is being promiscuous. That is hoe behavior. But if you're in a relationship and you're swinging, the whole point, that's where the name swing came from. You're swinging from one partner to another whilst you're in a relationship. They are also swinging. You are swinging. Everybody's swinging. That's different. That's a niche type of sexual interest.
Promiscuity.
To you. To me, promiscuity.
I don't say it's hoism. I think it's promiscuity.
To me, if you are single and you are promiscuous, you are a hoe.
Damn. Fair enough.
This is why I said that dressing, because you were trying to say if you over sexualize yourself in terms of how you dress, you are a hoe. And I was like, no, you just like to show skin. That doesn't make you a hoe. To me, the only way that you're a hoe is if you're actually embarking in loads of sexual relations with loads of people and it's not making any sense. You're just here flinging out the D or flinging open the pom-pom to anyone, anyhow. There's no like sexual morality. There's no decency about it. You're just nasty. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just out there. To me, that is promiscuity. And if you're being promiscuous in that way as a single person, you are a hoe. It's not how you dress. It's not the fact that you twerk. It's not the fact that you talk about your pom-pom all the time. It's actually related to your sexual morality. To me, innit? Yeah. And I've always gone by that definition, because growing up, the people that we called hoes, skets, do you know what I mean, were women that were doing that. And I'm not saying it's right, but that's where I got that meaning.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Do
you understand what I'm saying? It wasn't she dresses that way, so she a hoe. It was, oh, this girl's actually doing things like trains. She's giving man sloppy in the park. This another guy sloppy in the park. She's effing this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. She's just flinging it open. She's a hoe. And now I call men whores who do the same thing. They slip around multiple sexual partners at the same time. If you're not having sex with people, you can't be a hoe in my book, because I'm old school.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely a true thing. It's not based solely on sex. Sex is just an easy way to validate that someone is a hoe. Like, it just makes it a quicker.
I think that if you are promiscuous, let me take back what I said about if you're single. I feel like if you're just a person that flings it which way, anyhow, up, down, whatever, have no sexual morality, you sleep with whoever, you're not even safe about it, there's no rhyme or rhythm to what you're doing in that arena, you're just promiscuous, you're a hoe, period. You understand me? But that's just me, innit? That's just what I've always deemed it to be, because of what I've seen people around me consider hoism to be. I've never heard someone say, because someone dresses a certain way, that makes them that. You're the first person in my whole life that I've heard say that. So that's
a uniform, boy. You wear the uniform. Don't be upset that people assume that is the role that you assume.
Right. So if you over-sexualize yourself, let's go back to the point at hand. If you over-sexualize yourself in how you present, then I would assume that you are having stupid relationships with people. You're more likely to become a baby dad, baby mom, because you're out here flinging it. Not someone that's wifey material, girlfriend material. I would expect that you would be, because the whole point of being quote unquote, which I hate this category that this
being
wifey,
wifeable.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
I feel like, let me just be frank here. I don't like it when men categorize women. It's very patriarchal, because it's not
even patriarchal.
I think it is, but we're moving into a conversation that we don't need to go into. That's just an off comment for me. But I feel like for me, I feel like if, based on what men perceive being girlfriend material, wifey material to be, part of being categorized as that, or one of the expectations for a woman like that, is for her to want to be more innocent in that arena, if that makes sense, and to want to be in relationships, and to want to be in a more committed relationship. Therefore, she's not the kind of woman that you would expect to end up being a baby mum, because you would expect her to be in a proper relationship or have the commitment part before she gets pregnant. But I think so that's the reason why on Twitter, for example, I've seen many tweets, viral tweets, where, especially with Halle, for example, where people are like, something needs to be done about these decent women becoming baby mums for these guys. Like, we wouldn't expect her to be the baby mum or to become a baby mum. Same type of conversation came up again with Tems. Like, there was tweets that I saw, in fact, let me even pull some up and read them to you, where guys were like, Tems of all people, that's supposed to be like creme de la creme, what's she doing dating a man like Future, or even I hear she's pregnant. What the hell? Like, this is Tems we're talking about here. Do you get it? So it's almost like the guys are holding her to a higher standard because of the way that she portrays herself. And they're saying she shouldn't have even allowed herself to get pregnant. Yeah, because she's supposed to be a better standard.
She's supposed to be
woman.
better than that. Yeah.
Exactly. So my question is, why do we hold women... Do you get what I mean? Like, why are women held to a higher standard in that way anyway? Do you get what I mean?
I think men have no shame in saying to each other what a good woman looks like. Men have always tried to educate each other on what a good wife, like what the qualities of a good wife are. And then they've tried to identify that in the world around them. Like, look, other men, this woman is a good woman. That's the kind of woman you want to marry. You'll have a happy home. You will be happy every day. Like, this woman will bring happiness to your life. She's this, she's that. And she won't bring this kind of passer to your door that you would assume a hoe would, because you could have two women, the same woman, let's say Tems and Tems. One Tems is the Tems that, let's say day one Tems, who is a bit more reserved aesthetically in terms of her dress. And the other Tems is more of a Chloe Bailey type of looking Tems. You would assume, not judging on their characters, because all you have is the look, and it's the same woman, in fact, but you'd assume that the woman who's more reserved is gonna garner less attention from other men that would obviously be disruptive to your household and your relationship. Because if she's tempting other men, then the other men are going to be interested in her, which could tempt her. It's only gonna work against you. So if you're having these ideas as a man and putting them forward to other men, saying, like, this woman, she looks respectable. Why is she dating this one? Why is she doing less than what she deserves? A woman who presents like Tems or presents like Halle deserves to be married, deserves to have a secure home and a husband who also provides for them, whether they're independent women or not.
Just because she presents that way, everyone deserves. No, not everyone.
No, everyone doesn't. That's the thing. Everyone doesn't. Some people are hoes.
Not every. No, but that's the part that's what I don't agree with.
I'm not saying that they're not hoes.
Do you know why? No. I don't agree with the idea that a woman who has had a past or who has had multiple sexual partners.
Being a hoe is not about your past.
Listen to me, please. Just because a woman is quote unquote a hoe doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve to be married or deserve to be in a relationship. There are men who have had that. If you were to measure men and their promiscuity and how they portray themselves sometimes, the same way that you measure women, there are a lot of male hoes.
Of course.
No one is out there saying those men don't deserve to be husbands. But
men wouldn't talk about other men being deserving or not. Men don't really concern themselves with other men.
They don't because
it's women that concern themselves with other women.
Because they like to be in women's business and like to categorize women and tell women what they should and shouldn't be and how women should and shouldn't be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, to me, the whole idea that hoes don't deserve. Who are you to say what they deserve and what they don't deserve, innit? Like, it doesn't make sense because those women haven't done anything different to probably what you yourself has done. Do you know how many men that think that their husbands, you ask them what their body count is, for example, or what their wildest sexual stories are. I hear it and it's like, oh, one night, I had sex with 4 different women on one night. If a woman came and said she had sex with 4 different men in one night, are you not going to call her a hoe?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not for me.
Hear me out. But you would never say that a man that has done that doesn't deserve to be a husband or doesn't deserve relationship. No one would ever say that.
Yeah, but if
it's a woman, automatically, because she's a hoe, she doesn't deserve something. No, that's not fair. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear you, but I think the difference again is that when I'm speaking about women, especially women who are presenting in a way that I'm feeling like is lesser than their better self, and I'm saying, oh, she doesn't deserve. I'm saying from me, I would not be giving a husband to that person. It's not for me to be talking about what man should be getting a husband because a wife, because I'm not giving that. It's for women to say, oh, that man is not husband material. You can't sleep with 4 girls in one night.
It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of like with the Remy Ma thing, one of my friends was like, if this rumor is true, I've lost hope in women. I've lost hope in women, yeah.
What, if she cheated on him twice?
Yeah, if she's cheated on Papoose, he's like, I've lost hope because Papoose was faithful. He held it down when she went to prison, blah, 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 blah. And I said, in response, you know me and my probing questions, yeah? Because I didn't want to say outright what my opinion of that comment was. So I asked the question to see where his thought process was going to go, yeah? You know me. So this is me. Do you think that men hold women to a different standard when it comes to how they conduct themselves in relationships? He goes, what do you mean? I said, if Papoose had cheated on Remy Ma, if it was the other way around, what would you be saying? He goes, well, men have been cheating. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter because men cheat. It's something that we know happens. In fact, you're not going to be shocked if you heard that a man cheated on a woman because it's just that common. So I went, so then why are you upset if you hear that a woman has cheated on a man? He goes, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a double standard. Like, we don't expect women to cheat, but it's acceptable if a man does it. I was like, why is that? Because women have sexual desire the same way that men have sexual desire. Men, we've grown up with this idea that, especially men that are young, they have no sexual discipline because it's a biological thing that happens to them. They see something, their prick goes up, they can't control it, they feel urges that they just have to be out or whatever. Women go through that too. Women go through the exact same thing. We go through heat. When it's ovulation time, yeah, literally all of that's on your mind. Sex. That's all you can think about. It's like your body releases an egg and your body's like, you need to fertilize me yesterday. So women have seasons of like uncontrollable lust, uncontrollable horniness. For some women, it only happens during ovulation time. For some women, it happens just before ovulation, during their period. It just depends. It's also a scientific fact that as women get older, their libido goes up.
Increases, yeah.
Their libido goes up. They want sex more. That's why you hear that women that are older, they can do more than the men because the men, their libido goes down. Like, there's all this. So the idea that for men it's biological for them to cheat, I don't know. I don't get how it's not biological for a woman to cheat. It's just an excuse, I think, that men make because they think they're the only ones that suffer from uncontrollable horniness or whatever. They're the only ones that have sex on the brain. They're the only ones that enjoy sex, that want sex, that look around for sex, that want, like, listen, let me tell you, I'm a woman, yeah? There's been times there's no man. Ovulation has hit me. Sometimes even during my time of the month. And I'm like, yo, it's peak. Why is it that I'm expected to have more sexual discipline than a man, even though I have biological urges?
No, but that's a difference. You're talking about being single and having sexual urges.
No. You think that because I'm in a relationship, my eggs and my ovaries know that I'm in a relationship now, therefore I should close my legs? No, it doesn't work like that. It's it becomes mind over your hormonal biological reactions. And what I'm saying to you is a lot of men use the whole men cheat because men is a biological thing. For us, it's just sex. We just get horny in it and we just got to do what we got to do. Women get horny as well. Got to do what they got to do. Like, lust doesn't know gender. It doesn't know gender. Men get horny, women get horny. Men fall out of love, women fall out of love. Men get tempted, women get tempted. Like, we have the same temptations that you guys have. It's no different. But for some reason, society expects women to overcome those things because men can't help it. They can't think. They got no control in it. So if they cheat, it's just men. It doesn't make sense to me. Humans are still animals. We're smart. We've got conscious, not like Toby just moves with instinct. I don't think he really deeps it that, man, I want to hump something. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't hump my owner's guest leg. He don't think like that. He's just thinking, right now, I'm Randy, innit? I'm gonna hump the leg, right? Whereas humans, we think about it. We're meant to be able to weigh up, is this the decision we should be doing? Like, we've got consciousness, right? So the way I see it is, why do you expect women to have a higher level of that consciousness and thought process and decision making
it's not
than men?
But it's not a comparison.
What do you mean it's not a comparison?
If I say, Tems shouldn't be with Future, or wait, are we talking about Tems or are we talking about Remy Ma?
I'm talking about cheating. I'm talking about the cheating. I'm talking about
cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Because it's
I
almost
never
like
said cheating was acceptable for men and not for women.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying society makes it out to be like, if a man cheats, men do that. It's part of their biological makeup. Men are biologically, men ain't supposed to be in monogamous relationships. For men, it's just sex. They get horny. They just need to do what they gotta do. Men get tempted all the time. As if women are not humans like men. As if women don't have their own challenges. As if women don't struggle with lust or don't struggle with temptation. Do you know what I mean? But why is it that society expects a woman to overcome that, but if a man doesn't overcome it, it's just, men do that. It is what it is. That's why I asked the question of, do you think that there's a high expectation on women? I think there is.
No, I think it's just purely based on the ramifications of those actions. If a man slept around and had, let's just make it really small. If a man slept around, he slept with 2 women, he was in a relationship with one, he slept with another one, and there was no such thing as protection, then both women get pregnant and there's now two kids or whatever. Yeah. But the woman is the main person who will look after the child. So there's at least a parent for those 2 women. But if a woman slept around in the same way, then she would end up with multiple baby fathers. And she would still have the burden of raising the children.
I like where we're going with this. Go on, carry on.
No, but that's it.
Okay, so what's that got to do? What's that got to do with the price of bread? With the price of bread?
What's
that got to do with the price of bread? Basically, I'm saying, what's that got to do with the conversation at hand?
Because the what would you call it? Basically, regardless whose action, the consequence will fall on the woman. So that's why people will be like, women need to have better standards for themselves. Because if they don't, it's only them that's going to pay anyway. It's more of a help yourself type scenario, why society puts pressure on women. It's only to women's benefit to not sleep around in such a way where they then become encumbered by kids that they then have to raise.
They're going to raise the kids anyway, whether they're in a real relationship or whether or not they've got multiple. Not that I'm condoning having multiple baby dads. Because I'm very much a get married and then have babies. For your husband. Yeah. Because I'm still a child of God, right? But it's no different. She'll have different dads. But if the argument is she's going to be the one lumbered with the care of the child, she's going to be lumbered with the care of the child anyway, whether there's a husband there or not. Because let's not act like all husbands look after the kids. Most of the time, the mum's the primary caregiver. And even if the dad's involved, he doesn't look after the kid to the same level as the mum does. He's not.
Yeah, but there may be support, though. There might be financial support.
She might still get financial support outside of being in a relationship. I have an opinion that men hold women to a higher standard when it comes to how women conduct themselves whilst they're in a relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Compared to men. I think that men think it's okay for men to do things like other women's pictures on social media, go out with their boys, entertain women to an extent, as long as I'm not sleeping with her, it's not a thing. Flirting and all that.
Yeah.
If they hear that their woman does the same thing, it's not acceptable.
I agree.
Because they hold women to a higher standard.
I agree.
In terms of how they conduct themselves in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that I'm saying isn't fair. It's not right.
No. It's not fair. What it is you lot need to fix up your standards for men. That's what you need to do. Men hold women to the correct...
Hold on a second.
Listen, wait. No, let me finish my point. Let me finish the point. Let me finish the point. Let me finish the point. It's not about how men behave. It's about what women allow. Men hold women to the standard of what is acceptable and what usually, I mean, because you see what the rates are for marriage and divorce and all of that. You know what the rates are with the current standards that men hold women to. It's still not good enough, but that's the standard that men set for women. Women, on the other hand, they allow wider society and men and biology to dictate where they set the levels. Hence why you have a DDG or a Future or whatever with these women who men class as high standard. That's why these women are with these low R standard men, because women's standards for men are low.
But it all stems from patriarchy. That's where that all comes from. I'm not even going to bother to go into the intricacies of why that is. But I think that if a man... Sorry, I don't hear any accountability. If you're saying that... Basically, it sounds like you're saying men can carry on doing what they're doing. It's for the women to tell them that what they're doing is wrong. Women have been telling them that what they're doing is wrong. Men don't change their behavior. Men don't change their behavior.
They haven't been showing.
It's not for women. It's not for women to dictate to men how to behave. Men should just be decent people and behave correctly. Period. Let's go to the extreme. Yeah. That's like a woman being assaulted. Yeah. And it happens all the time. Women get assaulted more than men. It's a thing, you know. It's like saying those women need to let men know that that's unacceptable. Why don't men just know that that's unacceptable? Why is it the woman that needs to set that standard for them? Be decent people and just know that that is not correct human behavior. Loyalty is a human behavior that everyone should aspire to have as part of the things that they believe in morally. Everyone should have values, irrespective of gender, what genders are saying. Do you know what I'm saying? And as much as, if I was to take what you're saying, you've got men out there that still wife hoes.
Of course.
Turn hoes into wives.
Some men don't listen to the rules.
Are you now going to say that those men should be setting better standards for the women? No. Just be a decent person. Everyone should just be decent people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not realistic.
I don't care about what's realistic, man. You know me. I talk about ideals. You should know me.
No, I get it, but what?
That's always gonna be my angle, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but
that's always gonna be my angle.
But it's to your point that in the law it says, well, not even just in the law, and probably every religious book ever, it says for a man to kill another man or a woman to kill another woman, it's a sin, it's a crime. Every day, it doesn't matter what news channel, what newspaper, it doesn't matter what country. You check the statistics, people are killing other people. Why? Because human nature. It doesn't matter about everyone knowing that this is wrong and everyone knowing that this is right.
It's human nature for people to get tempted with lust. It's human nature for people to have sexual urges. It's human nature for people to fall in and out of love and to act on that. Whether they act on it in a way that one would compared to another is a different story. Women should not be held, period, by men or women to a higher standard when it comes to how they conduct themselves in relationships, because actually loyalty is something that everyone should have. It's a quality everyone should have, not just women. Sexual morality and discipline is a quality that everyone should have, not just women. Do you understand me? That's the point I'm making. It's an ideal. You can say it's not realistic.
No, that is, I think it's a perfect ideal and a perfect expectation. However, I'm just saying that you and the rest of your sistering then need to uphold it, because when you have your ambassadors like Tems, they in man's like Future, it's not. We don't know if it's true. Yeah, we don't know if it's true. I know that's a rumor. I'm just saying, for example, that them doing those actions is not upholding the standard to have the result that you want to see, which is that everyone acts in accordance to these ideals. If you have people breaking these... all the man them out there that are still wifing hoes, continue. Because you're letting girls know that they can continue to be... The man that wife hoes, us man, we look left. We're like, that's how we treat them. We look left. We don't go like, but that's my boy, I'm gonna stick beside him. No, we look left. We're like, that's definitely a hoe. Okay,
I've not seen that. I've not seen that, you know.
I know, because you ain't in the Mandem group chat, but we look left.
But they're still in, you're looking left, but he's still in the group chat. So
he ain't in that group chat. He ain't in that group chat.
What are you really doing to let him know that what he's doing is
He
wrong?
ain't in that. No, but if he finds happiness, it's not for us to take his happiness away. It's not for us to take his happiness away.
So
but
if Tems is happy, if Tems is happy, it's not for us.
I'm not trying to take her happiness away.
It's not for us.
It's not her. It's not her happiness that we're concerned with. It's your own. You're talking about the standards that we're allowing men to have.
No.
It's her actions.
You're saying that it's women like Tems. We should be telling women like Tems to the sistering like Tems, if it's true, because we're talking as if it's true. It's a rumor, guys. But let's say it was. We should be telling our sisters like Halle and Tems and co that they're letting the sisterhood down because they're dating the wrong guys. Blah blah blah. Cool. The men should be doing the same for their men.
No, but the difference between...
There's no difference.
There is a difference. There is definitely a difference.
There's no difference. There's a difference. There's nothing you can tell me. There's no difference.
There's a difference.
Hold your fellow men accountable the same way that you want us to hold them accountable.
We don't drop the ball. We don't drop the ball for them.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
It's even similar to like, you know how like the whole Me Too movement, guys doing things that are questionable or outright abusive, and they see their boys doing it, they don't say nothing. Or your boy, your boy's got a girl at home, you go out on a man dem ting, he does something that's a bit cheaty, you know what I mean? Just a little bit cheaty. A little bit cheaty. Yeah, just a little bit cheaty. Are you holding him accountable to that? Are you telling him, bro, you got a girl at home, like, I can't move with a man that can't be loyal to their woman. Are you doing that? No, you're not. You're covering up. You're not having those conversations with your boys. But it's us sisters.
My bridges don't cheat. My bridges don't cheat.
Get out of here, please.
My bridges don't cheat.
Okay, because you're going to say that on a podcast that you've seen your man them do something questionable.
If my bridges... If my bridges cheat, I'll say that, yeah, my bridges cheat. My man them, the kind of man them that I roll with, they're the kind of man that's like, look, bro, I'm single, innit? I'm messing around with a few things.
If you saw your boy do something a bit cheaty, just a little bit cheaty,
yeah,
you're going to say something?
Yeah, I'll say something to him.
I don't know,
Again, it also depends if I know his missus as well. Like, if his missus is some, like, tucked away situation, I'm not going to go and find her to be like, yo,
no, but you should talk to him, though.
Yeah.
Because whether you know her or not, the fact that you're aware that he's in a relationship, if you care about your friend's morality and the values he keeps, then whether you know the girl or not, you should be letting him know that, bro, like, don't be doing that around me. Like, you shouldn't be cheating on your girl.
Of course.
Cool. All right, then. I'm not convinced that most men tell their boy, if they see their boy do something unfaithful, a bit cheaty, that they're like, bro.
Yeah, don't do that.
I expected more from you. Like, I expected better from you. Like, man to man. Or if he does something more extreme, like a bit abuse, a bit assaulty, you know what I mean? A bit assaulty.
I hear that.
That they're saying to their boy, like, that behaviour is not okay. I'm just not convinced that most men do that. I think most men don't think that they should be doing it.
I hear you with
and I think
most
it's
men.
Because, and I feel like it's because most men don't have them deep type of conversations with their friends. Recently, and I'm not going to bait out my friend's story, but I had a friend who did something that I didn't expect. Something she did something that I don't expect my friends are capable of doing, because I hold my friend, the friends I keep them because I believe that we have similar, if not the same, morals and values. And she did something, or was doing something, and when she told me, I was like, this isn't on brand, do you know what I mean, for me and my girl dems. And I had to, like, I thought to myself, if I don't say something, then it's almost like I'm condoning or co-signing that behaviour, or whatever she did, right? I don't want to call it a behavior, but whatever she did.
Yeah.
I'm basically saying
it's
that's
okay.
acceptable. Yeah. But at the same time, if I do say something, I don't want her to feel like I'm being judgy, because I did judge her, but
I just say I judge, man. I judge.
Natural.
It is what it is.
I'm a human. I judged her, but it wasn't the type of judgment where I'm like, you're a horrible person. I don't like you. We can't be friends. It was more, I expected better from you. Do you know what I mean? I had the conversation. I was like, girl, I'm not going to lie to you. You know that if I was in this predicament, I wouldn't be in this predicament. If you feel me, like, it's not the kind of thing that I would do or get into. But it's done now. I'm more about what you're going to do about it next. And would you do it again? And then she was like, I know, like, she knew, because it happened, or it had been happening over a course of time. And she told me towards the end of it, rather than telling me as it was happening. So she knew that.
She knew that the judgment would be there. Yeah.
She knows, Dammy don't play that. Dammy don't do that stuff. So I need to keep it quiet or whatever. And then when she told me, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? The reaction happened. And then I was like, okay, simmer down, because you don't want her to feel like she can't tell you when things happen. So we had the conversation. And it just made me think of times when, not that I'm part of the man them, because I can't be, I'm a woman. There's obviously, even the guys that I talk to, they're not going to give me 100% because I'm not a man, innit? Like, they're just not. But even when I've been around them and I've seen things, I've seen how they've reacted to their boy that did something a bit cheaty or a bit questionable. And it's almost like, turn a blind eye. It's things that men do. It's not something that we need to be like, bro, I expect better from you. How dare you? Like, don't do that. You know,
again, it depends. It depends on how long these relationships are lasting as well.
I just don't think that men have those conversations with each other.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I think it depends on how long these relationships have been lasting, as in these friendships, the men's groups. Yeah. Because where a lot of guys are friends with their boys from school, these are behaviors that you've been watching from school, when things weren't serious, things weren't important. So now that you're men and whatnot, like, these men are looking at their school friends, not at grown men around the table, for example. Whereas if they were newer friends, then I think you'd have a bit more honest judgment of them, because it's a mature starting relationship, not literally an immature relationship that has come and grown through the ages.
Yeah.
It is interesting, but I think it is a bit not unfair.
No,
it's just the reality is unfair.
No, I think that's the same with girls as well, to be fair. Like, obviously, in order for you to be able to have those honest conversations with each other about someone's actions or behaviors, you need to have built a relationship to the point where when you tell them, they know it comes from a place of love, and not something where you tell them and now it becomes an argument or something that they get defensive about, because they know that no matter what, this is still my friend. She's just letting me know because she wants better for me. That comes with the maturity of your relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the same with women, but I'm just saying, even if you have that maturity of friendship, I don't think as many men are having those conversations. And I think it goes back to the concept, especially with the cheaty thing, it's the concept of, we almost not expect men to cheat, but it's more acceptable for men to cheat because it's been happening, it happens, it's part of their biology, whatever the reason is, whatever. Whereas for women, there's a higher regard, like there's a higher expectation placed on women in relationships on how they conduct themselves around loyalty and her sexuality and her sexual prowess and her desires and stuff like that. And the fact that there's this idea that women are stronger in that sense of, she might have temptation, but she has the capability to overcome it because she's a woman.
I don't know about the stronger thing.
Stuff like that.
But again, a different angle on that as well is there's a big difference, even though to a woman there may not be a big difference, and I can understand why you would think otherwise if you do. But I think there's a big difference between cheating and cheatee, because I do feel like to a degree there is an element of sport in attracting women. Much like people catch fish and then release them and let them go. And I think
I agree.
I think that there are or can be dynamics at play socially where men just want to demonstrate that they still have that ability, and then they let the fish go. I'm not saying that they don't.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that I think that it's very much a sport. I don't think women have to try though. I think that in terms of attraction, the game is very different between men and women. So to liken them is not even faithful to what it is. Like very, very few men out here selecting women from a pool. More men are actually actively attracting women, whereas women are batting men off more time.
I think that's the
norm.
I think that is a stereotype or potentially a misconception that men have about women, if I'm going to be honest.
In what sense?
I think that because men know that they're the ones that do the pursuing, they assume that if there's an attractive woman, that she's being pursued by multiple men. And then that feeds into the idea that a woman probably has a roster just because she's attractive and she's batting off men. And that's not necessarily the case for... I
think if you just took any social media platform, for example, that would seem to be the case just by follower numbers and likes alone.
That is just people following. That doesn't mean that just because she's got a higher number of, say, men liking her pictures or women liking, because more time it's women that do all the liking and following and yeah, sis, oh my God, she looks so hot. You hardly see men commenting like that and all that business and interacting like that. They more time look quietly. If they want to DM, they'll DM. But they won't really do too much interaction on the TL. So I can't really use that as a measurement. But I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's a misconception that most men have, in that women have more opportunity to potentially maybe be a bit cheaty because men are pursuing. And I think men make that judgment because they know how many women they pursue when they are in the season of pursuing, if that makes sense.
I'm not saying that it makes women more susceptible to being cheaty. I just mean that in terms of the attraction game, it's more that the man is the pursuer and the woman is the selector. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I guess, because men pursue, but again, you know that comment you made about women batting men off? I think that is the perception, because men know that when they are pursuing or in the season of pursuing, some men, that season never ends even if they're in a relationship, but let's just say the ones that aren't, they know that they are pursuing multiple women at one time. So they assume that women are being pursued by multiple men at the same time because they know that that's what they do. So the whole idea that women always have a roster, all the women I know don't have rosters. All the single ones I know. Yeah, no, it's a dry season right now. I've been made to know.
But the perception is that they do simply because men know that they pursue multiple women. They're not pursuing one at a time. Do you know what I'm saying? So they just assume if I'm pursuing more than one, she must have more than one.
Yeah, no,
on her roster.
I think
she's fighting them off.
I think it was the case in the 90s and the noughties. I think that because interracial relationships or interracial dating is not such a taboo anymore, that the dating pool itself has thinned dramatically. But I think probably in the early noughties.
Do you mean for the black community?
Yeah. Because I think if it was the early noughties /10s, early 10s, and definitely the 90s, I think it would have definitely been that women had far more to choose from.
I don't think the dating pool is dry. I'll start there. I think the dating pool, because if anything, I think there's a lot more single people now.
Yeah, for sure.
So the dating pool can't be dry. I think the standard of people in there is questionable. I also think people's priorities and what they want is different. back in the day, in the noughties or in the 90s, people were geared towards long-term relationship and marriage more than now. Whereas now, people are more dating for casual hookup. So it's not necessarily that the pool is dry. It's just that if you're the kind of person that is geared towards relationship, to you, the pool will be dry because not the same rate of people are looking for long-term relationships / marriage / commitment. Most people in the dating scene are looking for casual relationship. If you're looking for casual relationship, you have a lot of options. So the dating pool is not dry. So that's why I don't agree with you on that front. But I think that, yeah. So I guess going into the roster conversation, if you're a man looking for, you're in that season of I want a wife, I want to settle down, then yeah, sorry mate, you're probably looking at the market going, a lot of these girls probably have a lot of guys on their roster. Because to you, the dating pool is dead because everybody seems unserious. So you're going to assume that the girls that you're seeing have a roster because the nature of the dating pool right now is more leaning towards casual relationship. Does that make sense? It's what I'm saying.
To a degree, yeah. I get what you're saying. I've never assumed a girl has a roster though. Just that many people are interested. But not in a persistent way like they you know what I mean?
I think it depends on the woman. I think it depends on her attractiveness as well because let's be frank, when it comes to conventional attraction, more time probably. But if she's a niche type of babe, probably not.
Unless, you know what I mean, people are into that niche and they're able to find her.
But it's a niche. I think it's a niche because not everybody is into it. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, of course.
Whereas conventionally pretty, most people be into it. Whereas, like, not even to draw a subgroup out, but let's say you don't fit into the. No, I don't want to use that because we talk about this the typical black girl London look all the time. Let's say you're okay. One of my boys said to me that most men want a woman that looks physically fit, a woman that's in shape. Yeah, whether she's curvy or not, as long as she looks fit, most guys find that attractive. Whereas women that don't look fit, so maybe a bit more fluffy around the edges, not as many men will be into that type of woman. That is a niche type of woman. There are men out there that prefer bigger women, right? That's a niche. So if you was to compare the bigger woman to the woman that fits the more fit look, more time the woman that has a fit look, maybe her DMs are full because more guys are into that than they are the fluffier type of woman. Same thing with men. I feel like men that have money, swag, height, unfortunately, or are handsome, have more access to women than men who don't have those attributes.
I would even go one step further to say that men with those things also cross into the selecting category in my mind.
They have choice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have more options. So they have
as in less pursuit, more selecting because women are coming forward.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So if you don't fit that conventional look or conventional thing that women find attractive across the board, then yeah, you're doing more pursuing than women just falling on your lap. They would have to do too much.
Not a falling on the lap. Listen, when I was dancing back in my day, when I was a street dancer and that was all the rage, I knew about selecting, boy. I knew about that selection lifestyle.
Even though you're not over 6 foot.
Didn't need to be. Not when you can do backflips, boy. It wasn't necessary. When you're waving and when you're badding up, you know what I mean, other dance crews on the main stage in the spotlight and that. People be like, oh my God. Yeah, man. Selection life. Selection life. It was good to me.
Do you know what I find interesting? That men, just going back to the conventionally pretty thing, men assume that women that are attractive actually have a selection to choose from. And it's not always the case. And the reason for that is because when you're conventionally attractive, you're in the realms of looking for commitment and relationship. You don't actually end up having a lot of options because you're normally objectified. So the idea that an attractive woman has loads of options, what options are you talking about here? I found in my dating experience that when I get pursued by men, they assume that I have loads of options. They're like, oh, pretty girl like you, with your mindset, how? And I'm like, no, I have people pursuing me, but what are they pursuing me for? It played with my mind a lot, actually. Like, I started to even start questioning if I fit into girlfriend, wife category because of the type of people that were pursuing me, or what? Not the type of people, because even the most decent guys would are pursuing.
It's what they were pursuing you for.
But what are they pursuing me for? Made me think: is that all I'm worth?
I think it depends on where the man is at in his life and why he's in pursuit of anything. And I'll say this based on myself. Okay. There was a moment in time where I was in a season of contentness. Me by myself, being single, I was happy as can be. Had everything that I needed in terms of my amenities. My job was paying me enough to live comfortably. Always you can earn more. I wasn't rich, but I was like, and anything that I want, you know what I mean, I can get. So I'm good. And all I didn't have was a significant other, but I didn't need one. I'd had stuff, and I was just like, I need space. You know what I mean? From the commitment of being responsible to somebody else and having to check on someone else like that. So I thought, okay, that doesn't mean that I don't want anything from anyone. I just can't commit to the full level thing. I don't want that. But also, man has urges. So at that point in time, I thought to myself, you know what? Instead of like chasing all these new chicks, establishing this is who I am, this is who you are. Like, I'm not trying to do too much. I just, like mutual fun if you're into it, whatever. I thought that sounds very long for where I'm at. It already sounds like too much. I'd rather just not. So I got into a conversation with an ex-girlfriend who we broke up on good terms. It was just not the right time when we dated and whatever. So we were talking, caught up, vibes was good. And I was like, you know what? What are you saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. What are you saying? And she was down. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And then she messaged me something along the lines of, without using her words, she basically sent me like, look, like, it said to in essence that she didn't want to be like objectified like that, but she was still on it. But I took it as she didn't want to be objectified. She wasn't on it. I said, no worries, because it wasn't like a malicious thing. It was meant to be something that we both enjoyed. So if you're not on it, that's fine. Like, we're the same.
Yeah.
And then she told me off because she still wanted it. And she just wanted me to just know that I was like, babe, you're doing too much. This is what I didn't want.
You know what it is? Yeah, it's because I can see where she's coming from, because obviously I'm a woman, so I get it.
Yeah, I get it as well. That's why I was like, all right, cool.
Going back to my original point in that when you're attractive, you get objectified. It becomes like, it's more about how you look, your features, and how you make the man feel on a physical level, as opposed to, bro, I have a brain. There's more to me than my bra size and the fact that I have a big bum. So can we not always make it about how juicy my boobies look? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when it becomes more about how the woman looks physically, and that's what you go with when you're trying to get into the dance, yeah, when you lead with that, the woman will feel like you're objectifying her.
Yeah, of course. It's the same thing as a woman leading with money. You just be like, oh, okay, cool.
Is that all you care about, the money?
Yeah.
Like, what about... Like,
yeah, I got a Bentley. Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. But, I mean, exactly.
Yeah, I know that.
So that's what it is. And I found that, for me, it did a number on me in terms of how I saw myself.
I think that most people are all right, if you know what I mean. Like, that's the middle ground. It's the average. So most people have to be in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So most people and myself. So most people are attractive to most people. Yeah. Because we're in the middle. So this is where it all happens. So just like yourself, there may come a time where I've gone from being single to being like, you know what, actually, I want to have somebody. I want someone to find me attractive, even though I think more girls are interested in relationship than the other way around. Yeah. Let's just assume it wasn't that way. I'll be like, oh, I want someone to see me for me, or, you know what I mean? So then instead of it staying there, my next thought is, okay, so then how can I really illustrate to people that I am somebody different? Like, if you talk to me, it's not going to be the same. It doesn't mean that it's going to make me more appealing. All I'm going to show you is that I am going to be very different to like the average that I sit in, because I'm like everyone. So if you're like, oh, I like him, but he's bald, like, guarantee you can find a guy that looks exactly like me that's got a hairline fully intact. Like, there's billions of us on this planet. It ain't that deep. So how do I separate myself to be like, yeah, but even if you find a version of me with a full hairline, or a version of me that's 6 foot, or a version of me with the Bentley, like, they're not going to be me. Like, I'm completely different. They are more alike than I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my thing. And I can even see from, like, even the girls that I used to follow back in the day on Instagram, all of them hotties, all of them baddies. But when I say the characters that some of these girls are wild, and I'm like, this girl looks like she'll be a vibe.
My caveat to that, though, is the way in which women operate is different to the way men operate. So earlier on, you said that it depends on where the man is at.
Yeah, of course, it's timing. It's timing.
I think that if a woman says, like, as much as I was like, I ain't trying to be with nobody, if the right suitor had come, I would have been like, yeah, I'm
of course, yeah.
But I think with men, if he's saying he doesn't want it, you could be the best woman for him. Yeah. He's not going to change that. He has to decide for himself that, okay, now I'm ready to hang up my bachelor shoes, and now I want to find someone and settle. So what I'm trying to say is, even if, and I think I pretty much present what makes me me more than how I look. Especially on socials. I hardly post anymore, innit? Like, I just don't. The only thing I post is this podcast where you get to see my personality shine. Do you understand me? When I talk to people, when I talk to men, I'm myself. I don't present first my looks. I have these type of conversations with anyone, not just you. Like, I have these type of conversations.
No, of course.
Whoever. So they get to understand how my mind works. They get to see my humor. They get to see how smart I am. They get all of that. I'm very much, this is who I am. Yeah. And I'm like that with everyone. But I think that, I know that I've met men who weren't ready. They've met that. They've had that conundrum. Crap. I actually moved to this girl because I think that she's got a nice bum. And I want to hit that, yeah? And then it's like, oh, but this girl, I actually kind of like her. But they don't budge from the fact that they're not ready. All they want to do is hit. I think women don't do that, operating that way. A woman like, I just want to hit, but somehow she's falling in love. She's in a relationship. So I hear what you're saying about presenting what makes you different and going forward with what makes you unique, because that's what basically we're saying. Move with, like, your USP, your personal brand should be the first thing that they see, or a soon after thing they see after how you look. But because men don't operate in that way, it doesn't make a difference. we didn't introduce topic of the week. I guess you could say topic of the week is wherever I cut it, that's where it is, innit? Because we didn't know where we were going with this.
We just freestyle life and we had a good time.
We had a very good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. Let us know what your opinions are. On Spotify, you can comment now, so let us know if you're listening via there. On YouTube, I mean, everyone knows you can comment on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I do have a shout out. I spoke about a events company movement called Chats that I will be a panelist for in October. The dates are secured. It will be on the 14th of October. Once I've got more details, I will be obviously letting you guys know. So if any of you lot who support the podcast, who live in London or even want to travel into London to come and catch me in real life as a panelist on Chats' platform, come through. I will link the tickets down below so you can buy them. The topic of conversation is, I know the movie that we're going to be talking about is Boomerang.
Okay, yeah. I haven't watched it for a while. I need to watch it again. I'm
going to have to refresh my mind on it, but it's a classic.
It is.
So, don't know where the conversation is going to go out of that, but I'm going to be a panelist, guys. Come through. So I'm shouting them out again, and I'll probably keep talking about it until the event comes and goes, to be honest. Mm-hmm. It's my first panelist gig as well, off the back of the podcast. So I know, right? Low key, high key, I'm nervous, you know. Like normally we do this behind the camera, but live and direct, I don't know, man.
You'll be fine, man.
People think I'm mad confident, but in reality, I'm a chicken, really. Like this is all a facade. This is all a facade.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But yeah, guys. If you're not subscribed. If you haven't left a 4 to 5 star rating on the audio platforms, please do that. If you're not doing that, like at least drop us, like take a few minutes to go to our DMs or drop us an email or something to let us know why, because we want to elevate. Do you know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend. My mouth is dry. I'm gonna shut up now. Is there anything you want to add?
No, it sounded all good. Thank you for watching and tuning in as always. It's been a pleasure to talk to my co-host, Dami to the Zane, and to share our conversation with you. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. And until the next one.
Peace.